How many of us know the 3 M's of money? Money, making money, managing money, and multiplying money. The third way by which you can prosper and appropriate the blessing of God, which is your responsibility, is what we call financial enterprise. In this case, you are no longer being owned as means of production. You now own means of production. And thank God that our second speaker is going to talk a little bit about that. That is entrepreneurship. You cannot be blessed as much as God wants you to be blessed if you do not embrace this. The last one which I want to talk about, which is number 4, is financial investments. Financial investments. If you do not combine these 4 together, you may likely not access what God has for you. But the question is, what is financial investments? What is investment? Now, there are 3 ways by which you can handle your money. And I want you to listen very well. Number 1, you can waste your money. And that is what many people are doing. Number 2, you can spend your money. See, money is to be spent. How I wish I have time to let you know that before you spend 1 naira from your pocket, there are some principles you must follow. Otherwise, you just spend your money, or money gets out of your pocket, and you are allowing other people to get the benefit of that money. They invest the money on your behalf and you are not getting the benefit of it. And that is what happens all around. Then number 3, where you can handle your money is to invest your money. You have to invest your money. So what is investment then? Number 1, investment is using money to generate a steady flow of money. Yes, using money to generate a steady flow of money. One is asking me there, how do they get that money that we are going to use to generate that money again? You generate money through the combination of labor and time. So L, if it can be projected, L plus T is equal to M. So your labor combined with time gives you money. Money does not come from heaven. But your labor is a gift to you. Your time is a gift to you. So it is when you combine your time with your labor that you get money. So you can start as a civil servant, for example. Or you can start with a little business. You are spending your time, you are spending your labor, money will come, no matter be the quantum of the money you get. So that money you get, now you can now use it to guarantee to generate another steady of income. That is an investment. Number 2, when you talk about investment, investment is using hand income to generate hand income. Sorry, these are big words, but we need to understand this if actually we want to appropriate the blessedness of God, the provision He has made for us. Hand income is the income you generate from the combination of your labor and time. You go to office, they give you a salary, you run a business, you get a returns from it. That is what we call primary income. In fact, you can get your primary income to secondary income, then to tertiary income. All of them are still an income. You generate that with your labor and time. But there's another money that can be generated without applying your labor, without applying your time. But that one is being generated by place leverage on other people's time and labor. Please get it right. So You labor for that money, but money will continue to flow into you. Steady income, on hand, we call it on-hand income. And this on-hand income is divided, it can be in three ways. Number one, it can be a residual income. It can be in form of portfolio income. And then it can be in form of royalty coming to you, passive income. You won't know, but because you have used your money, you have used the first money you generated to do a kind of thing, that passive residual portfolio income will be coming your way. I'm going to explain this to us in details, but just take note of that. That is what they call investments. Now, the last one, when you talk about investment, is to make money to work for you instead of you working for money throughout your lifetime. Yes, sir. And that is the reason why, please go down a little bit. That is the reason why you see that the scripture make provision for retirement. It is not in the plan of God. Yes, it is not in the plan of God that forever and ever you continue to work. It's not in the plan of God. There must be a time when you must get to your rest. You must get to your rest. And it is only investment that can make you to get to your rest. So please let us take this as very important. So understand the property of money, because money cannot be hidden. Money cannot be hidden. It's either money is working for you, who generate it, or it's working for some other person. You keep money in the bank, idle. It's working for some people. You keep money somewhere else. Some people are making use of it. Number two, you must make sure that money works for you more than it works for others. Because we want to talk about what are the investment channels very soon. And then the wisdom trees for you as a family, which help us, and it still help us, is that you must move faster. It's a matter of race. You must move faster from earned income to on-hand income. You are earning 20,000 as a salary. You must plan your money, as I'm going to teach us channels of investment, that you invest in this instrument, that the money you'll be getting from that over a period will overshadow the one you are getting from your labor and time. Otherwise, you will continue to run what I call rat race. We call it financial rat race. What is financial rat race? Financial rat race is you live to work. You are not working to live. Like what is happening in the world now, some people have crashed down. And there are some of us in an environment, in a society, where you just believe that you are alive to work. That is not the plan of God for you. And then I want us to know that if there's anything you are talking about investment, it must be a must for you, because it is a worry-free wealth building strategy. Yes, sir. Your work cannot be a worry-free wealth building strategy. You can't build much wealth there. So, and finally on that, you will discover that the wisdom to manage money is more than the wisdom to make money. That is what many of us, we do not understand. And that is the reason why we are running this rat race that I talk about. We run it and we think we are living a life. We are not living a life. We are living a miserable life. So the question some of you may ask me, okay, what are these investment channels to generate what I call on-hand income that will take you to your rest down? The first one is money markets. It's money market. Now, when you talk about money market, it's an investment for short term. It's very, very liquid. And then instruments you can use under money market include number one, term deposits. Some of us just keep our money in current account in millions. I just wonder, when there's alternative there, you can have call deposits. Your bank will be bound to give you interest on that. So you don't need to put chunk of money just like that. So term deposits, you can say for 3 months, depending on when you need that money. I remember when we are still paying school fees. Sorry, we have outgrown that now. So if we get money, instead of putting it idle, like I said, I don't want my money to be working for other people. So I just say, okay, this money should be in fixed deposit for 3 months. The interest can be small, but I will tell you the secret behind it very soon. Number two is what we call treasury bill. This is an instrument by which the government or central bank or the Apex bank mop money from the economy. It's as if government is borrowing money from you. Treasury bill. And you can go to your financial institutions, your banks, and all the rest. They will get your treasury bill for you. Number three, you can also buy what we call bonds. Bonds is a debenture. It's a debt instrument. It can be for longer terms. It can be for shorter terms. For example, in Nigeria now, there is one in which even small savers can involve every month. But there are some for longer terms. Let's perhaps just not talk too much about that. Then somebody will say, what are the features of money market? Why should you put your money in money market? Number one is because it has a relative negotiable rate of interest. You can negotiate depending on your negotiating power. The bank will say, let me give you 2%. You say, no, I'm not giving you, I'm not taking that. It's 10%. Negotiate. Then number two, it carries minimum risk. Your money is there. Anytime you need it, you get it. Nobody is using it. Then number three is very flexible and liquidity guarantee. Like I told us, when we want to pay our fees, school fees, we just go there and collect. You can terminate it with very short notice, though with a discount. But again, it's very liquid. You can easily get. And the last thing that I want to say about this money market is that, which is a disadvantage, it may not have edge over inflation. And you don't need to bother much about that because it is for short term. Now, if you look at this money market, some of the questions that some people will be asking are that the interest is very small. Why should I put myself? Yes. But let me tell you what we call Rule 72. Rule 72. If you have 1 million naira and you invest it at 12%, for example, because I know there was a time when our treasury bill was that 12%. But let's say you just have a 12%, and you have just 1 million, maybe either as a gift or you generate it, and you put it there. Do you know that that 1 million will become 2 million in 6 years by Rule 72? Now, that 2 million, add 6 plus, that's 12 years, that will become 4 million. You can go and you can be calculating. In another 6 years, it will become 8 million. In another 6 years, it will become 12 million. It will be doubling. Times 2. Now, if you start a work as a copper, or in any way, or you do a naming ceremony, or that kind of a thing, and you have 1 million, and you just dump it, and say you are not touching it until 35 years, may I tell you that money, if you go by Rule 72, will be not less than 30-something million. Do you want to tell me that if you are 60 years of age or 70 years of age, you have 30 million, you not say you have money? Sure. So these are things that you see people who are very restless in making money. I say, what are they doing? Are they thieves? They are not thieves. It's understanding. Number two, investment channel is what we call capital markets. Down. Capital markets is a market where companies source for money, long-term money. And example of them is stocks or shares. I thank God I'm an active operator of that in investment. So when company wants to generate or get money, we call it equity, they will put out shares, and then they will ask the public to come and buy. And if you are not buying through public offer, you can buy through the secondary market. We have the people we call stock brokers. They will buy for you. All this procedure, we can't discuss it here because we still have a long time to go. So you can invest in capital markets. Now, the good aspect of capital markets is that you become a co-owner. A co-owner in that business. The only disadvantage you may say you have there is that if the company liquidates or is not declaring profits. But if time permits me, I will talk about strategies for investments. You don't just go and say you want to invest, especially when it comes to share. But one good thing about share or stock is that it has an edge over inflation, where it is well managed, or you buy into a good company. Let me tell you 3 things you gain by buying shares, because I've seen people talking to me about, I bought share, I'm not getting anything from it. There are 3 things you get from buying shares. Number 1, we call something bonuses. If you buy 2, if the company perform very well, they can say they want to give you additional bonus, either 2 to 1. I have shares which was 10,000 before, but by the time I sold them, it has risen to 50,000 through bonuses. I won't be mentioning company because we are not to sell them. Number 2 is dividends. Give you dividends because they have used your money, they have made profits. The third way by which you enjoy in capital markets, in buying shares, is what we call price capital appreciation. The price, the market you buy at 10 naira can, with time, can get to 50 naira, can get to 100 naira. I bought, there was a share, I won't mention the bank, that was bought at 2 naira, but eventually we ended up selling it 300 naira per unit. And you know, a lot of money was made out of it. Let's move to another one. Another channel that you can invest your money on is what I can call unit trust. Unit trust. Unit trust is you can call it mutual fund. Unit trust, you can call it mutual fund. It's a scheme where small investors gather their money, 5,000, 10,000, depending on how much you have. And then you put the money together and you now appoint an expert. We call it fund managers. They are the ones that will manage that money. And they are going to invest this money in various portfolios for you on your behalf. And actually, you'll be getting returns on it. What are the advantages? Number 1, you enjoy professional service of the investment experts. That was something like that was organized by a group of people, and incidentally, they were going down. I came in. Now, because of the expertise, the whole thing was turned around. And at the end of the day, they have dividends double for what they have invested, because expert is involved. You may not be able to know which shares you should buy, what land you should invest in, and all the rest. but expert will do that. Number two, you can maximize your returns on your investments. And then it gives you opportunity to enjoy diversification. Because if you have 20,000 naira, you may not be able to even buy land. Or the shares you are going to buy may be very small. But when thousands of people contribute 20,000, it's a million. And when they buy, you see, they are going to what we call net value assets. It means you are going to share from that. So that's a benefit for you. Then you also enjoy low transaction costs. You don't need to be going to, well, somebody is doing that on your behalf. Now, one thing that is also good with mutual trust is that easy entry and easy exit.
Here are some things that you can do when your phone's offline.
And then you have access to information. You have access to information. The fourth investment channel, which I also recommend to your family to invest on, which has also be of tremendous help, is property markets. Property markets. In property markets, you can do real estate, you can take mortgage for rental, you can build buildings for rental income, or sell land speculation. I was talking with somebody outside Nigeria a few days ago, was telling me how it is being operated, which I know, in their system, and how much you can get from that kind of business. Let me just tell you that property market give you what we call passive income. The land you bought 10,000 10 years ago is no longer 10,000 today. It gives you passive income. That is, and then another one that you can invest your money on is what is called commodity markets. Well, that is not too familiar with us here, but I tell you that you can invest in gold, mineral resources, and agricultural products. Number 6 investment channel is insurance. There are various forms of life insurance you can invest your money on. And then number 7, you can invest on pension fund. And these are 2 types in Nigeria as far as I'm concerned. There is a micro one that if you are not working, you are working for yourself, you just get to the pension managers, you start a scheme with them. At a point in time, they can give you 40% of what you have contributed, while the 60% will be generating money for you throughout your lifetime. The other one is what is called contributory pension scheme. If you are working in an organization, it is mandatory that certain percentage of your money will be deducted, and then your employer will add that to it. Please, in your place of work, please make sure you join. And I always encourage employers to do, because the future of everybody is very, very important. Before I move on, let me just say why what I'm telling you is very, very important. When we talk about wealth, the yardstick or the metric to measure your wealth is not how much money you have now. You may have millions now, but you can be poor tomorrow. But the metric that you measure the worth of your wealth is the money, the financial comfort you enjoy when you are no longer working. And whether you like it or not, you are getting to that level. And that is the reason why now that you are working, you are using your labor and time to work, it is better for you to make sure you engage in all this. Number 8 that you can invest on, you can invest on your own businesses. You can start like sole proprietor, and then from there you get to what we call business assets, which is sellable, tradable, and transferable. In this, when you have profit, you share profit. You pay yourself. It's a way of paying yourself. Your own business, entrepreneurship. Then number 9, you can also invest on people. You can remember the story of Mordecai and Esther. And then finally, You can invest on the God's kingdom's work. This will attract investment, financial investments. So I have talked about 10 to 14 channels by which you can invest your money. But let me just say this as wisdom tips. Number one, you must ensure mixed portfolio and diversification. Don't put your egg in what? In one basket. You can run through all this and put your money there. Number two, don't follow multitude to invest. There's a language we use in professionally which I'm not going to use, but that is just the meaning. Don't follow. You see, and that is what kills us in this country. People were just buying shares and you want to buy shares. Sometimes when I look at the portfolios of some people, I say, why on earth do you buy this type of share? Simply because they were just making. No, you don't do that. And then number three, you must let your age and your investment objective dictate how you are going to invest. This is very, very important. And maybe question can come on because of our time. How do you develop investment skill? What are the strategies to be used? All these things, maybe by the time we are asking questions or we come back, we'll be able to discuss on that. I believe a word has come your way, and we bless you in Jesus' name.
Yes.
I want to thank God for a beautiful time, and thank you all our speakers. You have spoken very well. Maybe I will just do this as an addition or calling our attention to the human lives as asset. Now that is now looking into our home, investing into the life of our children for future, and calling their attention to the business angle. We have children that are 35 years that are not, they don't even understand this, and yet they have grown under our roof. There is what is called poverty mentality, overly dependent of children, and that is error of parents not teaching them and preparing them ahead such that they won't repeat some of the mistakes we made. So investing into their lives, this dimension of life, will also save us. Having said that also, my question will now be, we also have parents who are overly dependent on their children. Why? Because, oh, I have sent my child to school, and so now that I'm retired, he must bring all of his resources. He has to build a duplex for me. He has to send all of the 7 children to school and all that. How do we balance all of this? Since I am to actually love my parents, now I also have to save, do some investment. Please, can you help us out on this?
Thank you very much, Ma. One of the reasons for investments is to have graceful old age. But around us, there is this error mentality. I don't know how we get it, that when the rapid is old, it is sucking the breast of the younger ones, the children. But let me just say it straightforwardly like this, that the children of the rabbit of this day, they don't have breasts. And those of them that you think they have breasts, there's no milk there. There are 2 things that will make you to survive in old age. And that's what we are emphasizing in this forum, investments. When you are working, you are employing your time. You're empowering your labor. The first thing you should do is to pay yourself first. There's a certain percentage of your income that should be earmarked for the future, little by little. I've just given an example of Rule 72. And then there is this miracle of compound interest that will help you out. So if you look at the scripture, I think it's in Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22, which says that a good man leave inheritance for his children. I'm not asking the children not to take care of their parents. I'm taking care of my mother, is still alive, and I know what I'm doing. But indeed, it is not as easy as it was in those days. So for the best thing anybody could do now when you are working, not to rely on your children tomorrow, is to invest. Invest will guarantee your old age, and then you'll be able to retire your retirement if you can follow that. Thank you.
Reverend Mrs. Ijaopo want to add to it?
Thank you very much, sir. The focus is it's important for us to invest in the lives of our children, both biological children and spiritual children. Very important, because human beings, they are also in form of asset. But the focus of our investment shouldn't be what we want to get from them. Our focus should be the instruction of God that God has given to us to invest. And whenever we are in need and we follow all these principles, definitely God will have a way of blessing us. Remember that whatsoever we lay our hands on shall prosper. The most important thing is for us to lay our hands on some things. And once we are doing God has instructed us to do, investing in people, definitely whatever we are doing, God will prosper us. Whatever the children are bringing or people that we have invested on will be a kind of additional thing to what we are having. If they are coming with something. If they are going, they should also go with something, so that we will be fruitful all the days of our life, and we will also be power to reckon with, and full of gladness, prosperity, and gift, even unto the old age. And God will help us.
Pastor Lola, I'd like to add to that some few answers to that question. If I understand the question, it says there are some services you provide for free before, and now looking at the economic situation, do you still continue providing them for free, or you put a premium on it and then make some demands on it? Number one, every good skill will be paid for. Once you are very skillful in your job, somebody will pay for it. Number two, no matter how much prices you offer people for good job, there are certain people, for reason of relationship, you can't charge them. So in every businesses you do, there are provisions you make for people who, for reason of relationship, can't be charged. I'll give you an example. If your parents need your services, it will be very awkward for you to put a bill on your parents. Number two, if your services is needed by your church, for example, and you're a mature, well-discipled believer, you invest your skill to grow your church, you don't charge it. But if people in the church need that same skill, you build them, because you are doing your business. If people in the community need that skill, you build them because you are doing your business. You have bills to pay, you have staff to pay, you have many things to run, but there are always provisions to take care of certain people. There are people today that companies pay their parents because of the quality of services that child is supplying to the company. And I said, look, we can't afford to lose this guy. If your concern is your parents, we'll put them on our payroll. So there are services. All I'm saying in bottom line is be strategic, but wise. Consider the God factor. Consider good planning, and consider making maximum profit, but also know when not to charge. In all services in life, there are people you don't charge, but there are people you charge. Now I have another question. We have another question on the screen here, and I'm watching our time. Today is more for Rev Isaac Ijaopo. It says, how do you invest in a child with wealth because you do not want them to suffer without spoiling them? I hope you got that question.
Yes, thank you very much. Let me just make a comment on the first question before answering this. When you talk about business is organized activities geared towards meeting the needs, human needs in the society with appropriate returns. Well, I will not talk more than that. Now, what we do is that you must have returns for your business to be a going concern, whether it is service, whether it's production, because these are the two lines of, so either the two, we provide service. Like I've been said, to come to church for financial talk is, I put it under charity. And so we incorporated Helpline Foundation, Care Foundation. So that is for charity. It's not. It's under non-organized, non-profit. Now, but when it comes to service, now you say, well, this is my service for this, but I will discount you this. That is very, very important. Otherwise, that business will collapse. And you know, we live in a society where everything is free. The moment you are selling your service free, you are going to collapse. There must be the word appropriate returns. So as we have been advised, we should demarcate between charity and business. If you don't demarcate between charity and business, then you will not move forward in life. Now, the question, say, how do you invest on your child with wealth? You have the money and you do not want to suffer them. Number one, you must invest on intellectual property. In other words, you must teach them financial intelligence. This is what helps us. We have 3 children. Each of them have been taught financial intelligence. Good enough, I wrote a book on that. So they read. So if they give 10 naira to them, they know how to spend it. Incidentally, we don't have time on our side. Will have taught us how do we spend money. We don't just say, I have 10,000 and I want to say, I call it ABC of spending. You ask question first. So these children must be taught. And you have to start from the time when they are very young. Send them an errand, they buy something, ask for change. Ask them to write down. And so on and so forth. Now, as they are growing, for example, 2 of my children went to university in Nigeria, and I thank God for where they went. I told them, this is the amount of money for your pocket money. If you spend less, I will add so percentage to it for investments. So the one that's supposed to eat 3 times will eat 2 times to save 1 meal. And then, since I have investments, I buy shares for them, buy things on their names, so that as soon as they leave, they have money. So you have taught them. So while they were in school, the difference was so clear. So you don't spare your children with money. And then number 3, if you have a company and you have a grown-up child to work, please let him start from the beginning. Even you yourself that is running a business, make sure you put yourself on salary so that they will start to know that there is no longer manna from heaven. No, God told them, as soon as you enter the land of Canaan, manna will cease. So these are things we must teach our children. They must have value for money. And then let them start to generate money as early as possible. Don't allow them to impress others. Live by example. Like, okay, this is money, but we are not spending it because this money is for this, it's not for that. Teach them what is called budget system. By the time you are teaching them when they are very young, fine, God will help us.
Time is running. We should be finishing shortly. There's another question here for Reverend Ijaopo. It says, can you share with us some specific investment we can do to earn passive income?
Thank you very much. I have shared some of them with us. When you talk about passive income, they are income that comes to you without involving your labor and time. And if you heard Reverend Lola, he gave a practical example. Now, if you buy a land at X amount of money this year, the document is perfected, safe, 10 years' time, that land will not be the same. That is a passive income. If you put your money, like I've said, in bonds, bonds carry fixed amount of rates, coupon. If you put your money there for X amount of years, depending on, then that will give you passive income because you are leveraging on the labor and time of others, technocrats. If you put your money on treasury bill, it's giving you passive income because you are not actually using labor there. Then there's one that is also very, very important, which is royalty. I wrote a book. I spent maybe less than 500,000 to publish it. But today, I've printed over 15,000 of that book. And I've made millions out of it. That is passive income. A royalty is coming to me. But the labor I did was once. But the money will continue to come without you laboring to get that money. That is what we call passive income. The sister of passive income, alternative, you can call it portfolio income. Then you can also call it residual income, but it belongs to the family of on-hand income.
Okay, I have a last question here that time will allow. Still, Reverend Ijaopo. It says, given the current uncertainties with investment, what money market would you recommend us to invest in? And what industries offer less risks with reasonable profit in terms of investment?
We are not going to promote any company here. It's unethical. But I will just give principles that will help you. And if perhaps you now need extra service or extra counsel, let me say I'm a retired person, so I'm not charging you. So, but you can still put your money, before you put your money on any investment, please make sure you consult the people we call capable financial experts. There is a difference between them and jobless. Jobless are those who are seeking for your money to promote themselves. But experts will analyze what company are you. So number one, you have to look at the track record of that company. Number two, you have to look at their management setup. Number three, it is possible for you. You have to look at 3 years, have they been given dividends? Then you look at what is the level of appreciation of their shares. If you want to go to stocks company. So, and a layman cannot do that. I remember the time when I was actively involved in this. I would tell my wife, don't talk to me. My iPad is always there in the night because I will need to calculate. Every year, a public, a limited liability company that is a PSC, they must publish the account every three months. An expert will sit down and calculate their performance, their ratios, the things that we need to look into. But some of us just say, oh, people are buying these shares, let me buy it. People are doing this. No, you don't do that at all. Even the issue of a mutual fund that we are talking about, please go to your financial institutions and tell them that you want to buy mutual fund or unit trust. Then they will tell you this is the one, I don't want to mention what banks call their own, but different types of ethical equity and all those things. Then let them give you their performance. Look at them, and if possible, there are a lot of people around us that are professional that we don't make use of them. But I believe that you can consult Reverend, and then by the grace of God, if we need to give, we'll do that. So these are the things that you need to look at, but you can't recommend a specific company to you now. But there are some that are still very, very good, and people are still making money from them. Thank you very much.
All right. In closing, I will get final words from Reverend Mrs. Ijaopo. Final word from Reverend Ijaopo. Final word from Pastor Lola for 1 minute. Final word is your last counsel and advice on financial matters to all those hearing us. Something nobody have said that can still help them to consider.
Thank you very much, sir. This is a great opportunity that's coming to us. So my counsel is all those principles that has been ruled out for the viewers and for us, let us put it into practice. The lowest level of wisdom is knowledge. I want to believe with the questions asked, few of us will have understanding now. But the highest level of wisdom is application. So the most important thing is let us go and apply all what we have learned today, ask questions, and grow by it, so that we can move from poverty level to prosperity level.
Amen.
And prosperity level is the mind of God.
Amen.
For us who are children of the living God. The evidence is in 3 John, verse 2. That's the heartbeat of God for each and every one of us who are the children of the living God. He wants us to prosper spiritually, And as we prosper spiritually, that is our souls, beloved, I pray that you may prosper in every way and that your body may keep well, even I know as your soul keeps well and prospers. So that is the heartbeat of God.
Thank you.
And I pray that this word will come to pass in our lives.
Amen.
Praise God. Thank you, sir.
Last word, 1 minute.
Yes, thank you very much. I saw a question that if I have 100 naira, what can I do? Go and start with saving.
If I have 10, okay, 100
100 naira.
or 10,000 naira.
Or I have to have up to just whatever money you have a savings account. And let that savings account be a target account that you will not touch. As you are growing age, it will be accumulating. And the principle of Rule 72 will be working on it.
Amen.
Now, the last word that I want to say is that please, especially those of us who are coming up, do not rely on one source of income. Make sure you have multiple sources of income. One of the best ways to have multiple sources of income is investment. So as you are working with your labor and time, then you are leveraging on the labor and time of others. And at the end of the day, you'll be balanced up. This statement, I always say it anywhere. I wrote it down some years ago and it worked for me. A mono-income earner is on suicidal tourist trip. A mono-income earner is on suicidal tourist trip. So if you are, if your salary is still, if your income is still on one income, you are about committing suicide, no matter how much they are paying you. So for that reason, like Reverend Lola told us, hand income, the entrepreneurship, start from what I call primary income to secondary income to tertiary income. In other words, build business assets. That is tertiary income. Tertiary income. Then from there now, move to passive portfolio and residual income, which you call on-hand income. You will see how good, because your labor will come one day that you cannot go to work.
Amen.
And you will still need money. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.